On the outside, how do you find love even when someone is giving you only hate? And on the inside, how do you make yourself strong? And identify where you are on your journey and take that next step. Make your strides to get there, but remember, keep fighting. Khalsa is that goes at war every day. Not like fight each other, but fight with your inside every single day. You guys know that feeling of letting go? Like when you're like, Maharaj, you take care of it. It doesn't last. As soon as you feel that feeling, do nothing else. Put a timer on your phone for 5 minutes and just, why? Just mast reha karo tusi. What tension lenne ho? Just relax. Oh kamleya, tain thodi Amrit sambhana. Amrit ne tenu sambhana. I was like, what? Kehne tain to sirf sir de dena guru nu. Tumhe guru di zimmewari a oh sambhe tenu. And I called one of my friends who always was just Chardi Kala. And I was like, bro, how do you feel Chardi Kala all the time? He was like, oh, Sadhu di kirpa. I was like, what's that? Sadhu, what are you talking about? He was like, well, it's people that have done Naam, Bani, that are at that level. And when you're in their sangat, you're relaxed. I was like, okay, I want to meet one. I have a hard time preparing talk. Like, I'm not really a pracharak, if I'm being honest. Like, a lot of people say it, and I say it all the time, that I'm not a pracharak. I feel like I'm just like a Sikh. I was in college when I got into Sikhi. I made a lot of like mistakes. You know, I didn't know how to navigate what Sikhi is. My understanding of Sikhi when I came into the panth was that we're all one big family, one big like brotherhood, you know? And when I came in, that wasn't my experience. It was like a lot of like judgment. It was a lot, you know, those type of things. And it really put me off. But then like over time, I couldn't explain it, but there was certain types of people that I was attracted to, certain types of sangat that I wanted to hang out with. And I think over time I realized what that something was like genuine love. You know when you know, like, hey, I don't really want to talk about my accomplishments around this person because they always hating. Like, as soon as I say it, they're gonna make a backwards comment. Like, imagine that in a personality. And like, you just know, and you're like, dude, I can feel that you're in Sikhi for like the show off. You're not really here to like meet the guru, you know? And the reason it's difficult is because it's very easy for us to say like, this is Gurmat, that's anti-Gurmat. And it's like, how do you even define what Gurmat is? There wouldn't be so many different Jathebandiyan and Maryadas if there wasn't several different takes on what Sikhi is, right? So have we ever just taken a step back and gone, all right, their take is just a little different. Or maybe I need to just figure out what part of their take has to do with the prem and what part of their take has to do with like home. But we're not, and then you get into this like, oh, but I'm not like a judge. How do I do it? So how many of you heard of Bhagat Prehlaad Ji? Raise your hand. Okay, and then what I was just talking about, I guess I want to hear from the audience as well. The audience, the sangat, this is what I'm saying, growing up like whitewashed. I want to hear from the sangat, what is like some of the challenges that you face in your Sikh journey and why are you on the Sikh journey? Kind of think about that, mull over that, and then just like raise your hand and shout it out. You don't need to be shy. Everybody heard you go woo and haha, so it doesn't get much embarrassing than that. So he said his problem was that there was a lot of people in the panth trying to enforce uniformity rather than unity. That's a beautiful answer in terms of panth. Now I want answers that have to do with your own personal journey. What is the difficulty that you are having on Sikhi and why are you in Sikhi? Okay, so Benji brought up the point that we need to focus on more like finding our jot rather than, you know, like worldly things. And I think that if we were to take that like on a personal level, we struggle with that daily, right? Like we're worried about what's going on in the world rather than like our own peace of mind. But that's also because it's hard to figure out how to do that peace of mind. I remember last year we talked about like, you know, breaking the illusion, giving yourself to Maharaj and understanding all of that. So kind of what I wanted to jump into was a quick summary of how the world works and then, you know, like just a conversation. So with that, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. First and foremost, there was just one God. There is just one God and there will always be one God. That's the ik in ik oankar. Out of that ik, there was oankar. Jena ne, in the simplest terms, Maya was created, the illusion was created, and Maharaj was like, let's play a game. Khel khelan ant ko phir ek. Maharaj is like, all right, everybody play, but just know in the end it's all one, right? In that, there's a system they created. In that system, they made it so that you innately want to indulge in kam, krodh, lobh, moh, hankar, right? When you indulge in those, made karm, bad karm comes to be. And then you have to answer for that, whether in this life or the next life or whenever. The 5 gorn that they gave us, opposed to those that we can also go into, santokh, which means contentment, khima, which is forgiveness, sat, which is truth, nimrata, gribi, which is humility, and daya, which is compassion, right? So we've been given 5 tools that take us to the negative. We've been given 5 tools that take us to the positive. Now, the thing about the 5 tools that take us to the positive is they're very hard to achieve. It's very hard to be humble. What does it mean to be humble, right? Because you'll see somebody rocking like a $1 million necklace and being like, humble, God, number 1. You know, so it's like, what does humility mean? What do you mean humble? You're flexing on your music video, bro. So it's like trying to figure out what exactly are those things and how do you achieve them. But instead of getting too theoretical this time, what I really wanted to focus on was on Akal Purakh. And what I mean by that is like, last time we talked about the philosophy, the theology, what types of karmas there are, how do you navigate these things, how do you hand your karma over to Guru Sahib. And for those of you that don't know, you can go on YouTube and search up Breaking the Illusion, right? If we want to have a conversation around like, I want to wake up at Amrit Villa, I want to find more like unity within the panth, I want to find prem, and everything I was talking about, what I struggled with, this kind of just comes from, you know, like I struggle with that. I really beat myself up sometimes. Naam japan li ji nahi karda, bani padhn li ji nahi karda. We're not at like an avastha where that's there. Like we all know that Naam Simran's the answer. But if we all really knew Naam Simran was the answer, we wouldn't have to have this conversation. And we wouldn't, you know, have to say things like, if I could just get 5 minutes in. We would be like, atte pad, all 24 hours, I want to do Naam Simran. If we knew it was the answer. So what's stopping us? Maharaj says ki Surn Sakhi. You have to listen to Maharaj. You have to fall in love with Maharaj. When you fall in love with Maharaj, then you'll find the way. There's a Sakhi about this, and that's why I said, like, who knows who Bhagat Prehlaad Ji is? So they had so much bhakti, right? That Rab says to them, Tu minu avdi bhakti na bo khush kita. Tu jo mangna mang. You've made me really happy with your bhakti. Ask for anything. He says, Maharaj, the whole world is suffering. Just allay their suffering. Sarya nu sachkhand bhej do. Allay everyone's suffering and send them all, like make them all nihal. I'm trying to find the English word. It's not coming to my mind. Mukt. Nope, that's also not English. Make them liberated. Right? So Akal Purakh sits there and he goes, okay, I want you to go into the world. I'll take you to the heavens. Says, okay, sounds good. So he starts going around to everyone and he says, you want to go to Parlok? You want to go to heaven? You want to go to Sachkhand? I can't right now. I got to take care of my family. I can't right now. I'm kind of busy with this. Yaar Parlok ki hunda hai. Prove that it's there. What are you talking about? There's no such thing as that. Right? And he's getting tired and he's like, what do I do? Then he goes to this old Bibi. He goes, Bibi, Parlok jana. And she goes, Chal hor kam te mere to hai nahi, ohi dekh lene tera Parlok ki hunda. Right? And this is what we do today too. Oh, hun buddhe hain, hun paath kar lene hain, right? And so he takes her in front of God and Maharaj says, Bas aki labhi? Kehne Hanji Maharaj, wo bhi adde Delhi aayi hai. And Maharaj says, Chal, Bibi, Siddha Parlok, right? You go straight to Sachkhand. What I took from that Sakhi was, Maharaj has said the same thing to us. if you actually just read my benti, right? I didn't want to do this talk. I told Sahib, I was like, all we have to really say is, open Guru Granth Sahib Ji and start a Sahaj Path. If you can't understand Sahaj Path, just read the English translations. I mean, the English translations are not that great. But even with that much, you'll understand. Maharaj kehde tu naam jap, main sara kuch tere liye sambhu. Right? And I know there's going to be a bunch of people watching this video or sitting in the crowd and be like, yeah, but also our effort. So I've gone through a bunch of Gurbani dukan just to pull out. Like, Maharaj var kehde ya that you man gur mil kaj savare. Jo bas guru na mil kaj se sare savar jane. Kaj is all your works. Everything you have to do, Maharaj will take care of it. Obviously there's uddam, right? You don't want to become a couch potato. There's a level of fight that comes in this. There's a level of discomfort. But where do you start? Where do you start this journey? And that's where I want to share. I heard this Sakhi, and then I read it, and then I heard it again somewhere. And I don't remember where, but I want to share it with you. After Guru Gobind Singh Ji finished their jungs, they were in the forest. And this is after, they don't have the palaces and the armies and all that stuff, right? They're sitting in the jungle, Jangalanch Mangal Laya, and Sangat is sitting there. And a poet that used to be in Maharaj's Darbar comes to Maharaj. And he says ki, Maharaj, main tade kolo kuch mangana aaya. Maharaj says, what have you come to ask for? I've got nothing to give you. Na mere ko sona aaya, na hathiya, I got nothing to give you. Look at Maharaj's nimrata. He says, nahi Maharaj, bentiya, let me read this poem in front of you. Maharaj says, go ahead. And in the poet's mind, just like us, he's thinking, I've not done anything in life. Hum nirgune aare ko gun nahi. Ape tars pe hoi. I have not a single solid virtue. Everything is you. So he stands in front of Maharaj and he folds his hand and he goes, Chadar meli saban thoda. Chadar meli saban thoda. Jad dekha tad roma. Maharaj, this blanket, which is my life, it's disgusting. But I don't have enough soap to clean it. I don't have a way to clean it. There's not enough naam that I could do, enough bhakti that I could do to clean this. Say with me. Chadar meli saban thoda. Chadar meli saban thoda. Jad dekha tad roma. Dagan di koi कीमत नाही. There's no price that I can put on these. बहुते दाग लगे तन मेरे. मैं केड़ा धोवा. Maharaj, there's too many dogs. Which ones should I wash? I try to get up for my Netanim. I try to focus on Netanim. The focus finally comes, but then I don't know what you're saying. Then I know what you're saying, but then I'm not embracing it. And then I'm embracing some of them, but then I go and I do another pop. At what point am I supposed to have any type of forgiveness? Maharaj says, okay, then what do you want from me? Sri Sahib, menu darshan devo. Sri Sahib, menu darshan devo. Sri Sahib, menu darshan devo. Main sache saban dhoma. Give me that true saban, where it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality, and it just washes everything away, Maharaj. Give me that. Guru Nanak Dev Ji, in their Bani, they say, Ho kurbane jao mehrwana, ho kurbane jao. I'm a sacrifice to that Akal Purakh. Ho kurbane jao tina ke Lain jo tera now. I'm a sacrifice to those that do your Naam Simran. I'm a sacrifice to those that Maharaj are focused on you. Lain jo tera now. Tina ke ho sadkar banne jao. The ones that do your Naam Simran, I'm a sacrifice to them. Today, we have no Naam Simran, and the ones that are doing Naam Simran, when they make a decision that we don't agree with, we hang them on the cross. Forget being a sacrifice to them. We say, you did this one action that my intellect doesn't agree with, therefore you're out. Therefore, you don't belong. Yeah, no, I know the solution is Naam Simran. I know this person has done Naam Simran their whole life. I know they've done nothing but Naam Simran, but the one action they've done, I don't agree with it. Kill them. Get rid of them. What part of this entire story, what part of that feeling that we were talking about? That, I feel like I don't relate to Maharaj. I feel like I can't connect to Maharaj. What we do is, that feeling, we project it onto others. If I'm not good enough, you're not good enough. When do we ever look at the other person and go, yeah, I don't really care. Our Guru is the type, Gurna Avgurna na vichare. They don't look at our Gurn, they don't look at our Avgurn. How can I look at whatever is good in you and just have that conversation? I was telling my brother here, I was like, listen man, like I don't really care who does Nindya and who doesn't. If you love my Guru, I love you. Because show me how to love them as well. Even if you love them a little. Why do we fight each other? Because we love the Guru. We're all representing the same flag. And that's of Guru Granth Sahib Ji. But we've lost the ability to find the love. Why? Because we're at an age where we just want to fight. We want to throw hands. But how can someone that has true garibi even throw hands? The only time I have an inkling to try and argue with someone is if to my face they say something against my Guru. Other than that, bro, you do you, I do me. Well, let us focus, let those that are focused on Maharaj focus on Maharaj. Some people ask me, but the college I go to, the place I live, has no sangat, has no gurdwara, what do I do? I was sitting in Rome and I was so excited to see the Vatican, because I was like, I want to see what other people's dharam looks like. And I didn't find that ras that I was looking for. Then I was having dinner and these two Bibiyan were sitting next to, and they were staunchly Christian. They started up a conversation about Jesus. And I forgot we were talking about Jesus. I started talking about Maharaj. And I was like, God is so forgiving and so big. If our sins are Mount Everest, then His forgiveness is the sky. God is so beautiful that when we sit down in their remembrance, all is well. If just 10 minutes a day we would focus on Maharaj. She goes, so do your people read the Bible? Right? She goes, what you're talking about is beautiful. It was an hour and a half conversation. You must read the Bible. I was like, nah, Bibi, apa Guru de sekhya. Guru de sekhya. Te more, we just put a mirror. We put a mirror of who we love most. And my Guru is so apar, they're Akal Purkh themselves. They speak to you in whatever form you want to see them in. There was a Pandit that was doing bhakti on the side of a river. And Guru Gobind Singh Ji as a balak came and gave darshan to them. And he said, Maharaj, show me that you are my Guru. And Maharaj took on the form of Ram. He says, now I want to do darshan of Krishna. Maharaj took the form of Krishna. Then he said, now I want to do darshan of Shiv. They went and gave darshan of Shiv. He said, Maharaj, you are God. And then when they looked up, it was Guru Gobind Singh Ji in Balak Roop standing right in front of them. All of these names and titles are just names and titles. God is one. So when a Gursikh speaks, it's not to say the path you are on is wrong. Tada Jesus chutha, tada Muhammad chutha, tada Isa chutha. No. Maharaj kende sarb dharma, sresh dharma. All dharmas are high. Je oho naam te dhyan den. If they are focused on Naam. First and foremost, your duty is to find Naam. Second, Stop projecting your insecurities and going, this Bibi lets her case out of her dastar a little. She's not a real Gursikh. What kind of, oh, I'm not there yet. That's why I'm saying it. But if I was there, I wouldn't do that. Why don't you look at where you're at in the terms of love and just go, hey, Benji, like, I just love seeing that you're wearing a dastar. There's levels to this stuff. Let's talk about Nitnem for a second. If you're not doing your Nitnem, just listen to it. Listen to it even if you're not focused on it. As step one. Now don't hang me. Bhai Sahib is saying, oh, you know, you ain't got to do Nitnem. No. After that, your next step is, Dhyan nal suno. Now your next step, open the gutka. Listen while reading. Now stop listening to your own voice. Now understand the art. Now that you're understanding the art, really think, how am I doing that in my life? And when you get there, put it into your own. Don't be like, oh yeah, that person, he just listens to Nitnem. He's not a true Gursikh. And I'm not just talking about Gursikhs. I'm talking about if you meet a Christian, if you meet a Muslim, if you even meet an atheist, you should know how to talk about your guru to an atheist. Stop using the word guru, use the word love. Use universe. You know? You find sangat where there is no sangat. How? With the fragrance that is inside of you. Man, tu jot saroop hai. Apna mool pachan. My mind, you are the saroop. Right? We say, Dasan Paatshaiyan di saroop, jag di jot, Guru Granth Sahib Ji. That means the saroop is a granth. It's a book. That is the saroop. But the jot is inside of them. So what does that mean? Man, oh my mind, tu, you are the jot, the saroop of the jot. So the jot and the man are together and they're going from body to body. You have to get rid of the man one day, but that jot is your mool. It's your root, right? And that root is what you have to focus on. That root is what you have to bring in and understand, right? So once you understand that, where do you go from there? This is where mind shift needs to happen, right? Last time we talked about giving up and not beating yourself up. Let's talk about buckle down. Find where you are and be strict on yourself, but loving with everyone else. It seems we've lost that ability. We're strict on ourselves, we're easy on ourselves and strict on everyone else. Let's flip that model. What do I mean by that? I was telling someone earlier, I was like, you know, you can kind of find Sikhi anywhere if you just put the lens on. I was listening to a Huberman podcast, right? And he's talking about how when you do things that you hate, it actually increases your desire to live. Because you're expanding some cortex in your brain that is telling you like that it gets easier for you to get up, take that cold shower, get up and go run through a wall. So they did this study, right, where they compounded some chemical into like patients, and then they asked them, once they expanded that cortex, how do you feel? They were like, I feel like there's a huge storm outside that's gonna consume us all. They're like, okay, does that make you scared? Does that make you panic? They're like, no. It makes me wanna run out there and defeat the storm. And I read that and I was like, that sounds like the things that were inside of Chamkaur Sahib. Looked outside, saw a million Mughals and went, I wanna take off all their heads. Let's go get it. They felt no fear. Imagine always feeling that way. Imagine being like, what am I afraid of? I'm Guru Gobind Singh Ji's daughter. I'm Guru Gobind Singh Ji's son. Let's go get it. That like, nirpahata, it comes from a maryada. That maryada helps you form love. How are you gonna fall in love with someone if you're not going and meeting them? You see what I'm saying? Like, let's put that into like modern day. How, like, let's say you get an arranged marriage, right? And then you're like, yeah, I love you. No, that's not true. You probably have to get to know them, spend time with them. You have to ask them questions. You have to get to know them. And you're telling me, Simran, Harsimranjit, mere to naam nahi jap hunda. Yeah, but when's the last time you sat down with your guru and got to know him? When's the last time you fell in love with them? When's the last time you tried to find that love in yourself and others? Do you see the parallels? Rab kehda aap pya khajana aaja swarga nu. Aapa kehne Maharaj menu pehla test le lendo. Maharaj menu pehla millionaire ban lendo. Maharaj, let me get on my grind, then we'll see. Right? We're doing exactly what happened with Bhagat Prehlaad Ji. I listened to that Sakhi and I went, what a bunch of muriks. They could have been in Sachka. Oh, that's me. I'm doing the same thing. I'm doing everything but that. So what does that mean for us? Maharaj kende, kar ishnan simar prabh apna man tan pe aroga. Get up in the morning, do an ishnan, shower, simar prabh apna. There's like literally it's steps. Sit down, focus on your Guru. Man, your mind, and your tan will be aroga. It will be away with any disease it has. Right? So it's like, oh, I can't get up, I can't. Take a thanda shower, I'll tell you right now, you'll be up and active. You'll be ready. And you don't have to love it. That's why I told you that Huberman example. You don't have to love it, but it'll make you stronger. You want to be stronger? Yes. You want that like jazba of being able to run through sawa lakh se ek ladaun. Then do it. Just get up and do it. Do what your Guru is saying. So then I want to get into what that means, right? I asked you about Bhagat Prehlaad Ji. Mara says straight away, Bhagtan di sada rakhda har jiyo, turton rakhda aya. Prehlaad jan tud rakh le har jiyo, harnak smar pachaya. Maharaj always preserves the honor of their Bhagats. Maharaj always takes, like you do their bhakti, they got your back. It's that simple. If you do their bhakti, Maharaj will watch out for you. How? Vaheguru. Gur mil ladda ji. I met my Guru. Ram pyara Ram. He is my pyara. I think we can all agree, like, yes, I want to have love for the Guru. E tan man Dittada, varo vara ram. I made my body and my mind a sacrifice. How are you going to say that you made it a sacrifice if you're not pushing yourself? We all say, oh, I'm just on my journey. Nah, bro, you sleeping on the side of the road. You're not on a journey. If you want to be on the journey, identify what your next objective is and go get it. See what I'm saying? I'm speaking from personal experience. That's why I'm talking like that. I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to myself. For the longest time, I was like, oh, Maharaj, please, just, bahan pakdiye, bana chodiye, just please grab me. And then I realized, I was like, Maharaj is probably like, I'm standing here waiting for you. You're the one that's not getting up. You're the one that's not taking the uddam. Get up and just go do it. I mean, there's days where you miss your alarm clock, you wake up and you're like, oh, I gotta get to work. Fall at Maharaj's charan. That's where you're allowed to say things like, Maharaj, please grab my arm, I messed up. You can't just keep making the same mistake and keep saying, Maharaj, I messed up. Then Maharaj is like, yeah, I know. That's all you do. Like, take the next step already, right? Tan man ditta pavjal jitta. And once I get, and that's how hard it is. Just give your mind and body and you'll win. Pavjal jitta. You've won this terrifying world. Chuki kaan jamani. I've shaken off the fear of death. Asthir thiya amrit piya. Drinking Amrit, I've become immortal. When I first took Amrit, I had this and this normally happens. You take Amrit and for that first however long, you're like, I'm bulletproof. And then it wears away, right? And I know that from a lot of my Amritari Veers and Perna, right? You're like, oh, I can't do my Netanem, I'm falling apart. I fall into Kam and Krodh and Lobh, Moh, Hankar, right? So there's drinking that Amrit that actually, by the rules, makes you immortal. Maharaj takes care of you. But then, while you're in this game, what are you doing to drink that Amrit over and over again? And that's what we're diving into. How can I experience that? Piya Rahya Avan Jani. By drinking that Amrit, your coming and going in this world will go away. So kar ladda sahaj samadha har ka naam adara. I found my home in samadhi. Maharaj is my only support. Now, I haven't reached samadhi, so I can't give you tips on that. But I can tell you tips on how to navigate your feelings, right? Just from personal experience and talking to Gursikhs. Can you guys feel when you're getting angry? Like you're like, oh, here it comes. Like, have you had that moment where you're like, I'm about to say something I'm about to regret, but I'm going to say it anyways? Raise your hand if you felt that. Okay, how about like greed? Yeah, I'm being greedy. I shouldn't make this investment. I shouldn't make this move. It would be nice. Anybody felt that? How about with, you don't have to raise your hand for this one because everyone loves to keep this gupt. How about like calm? You're like, I shouldn't feel calm right now, but I'm really feeling it. And I'm about to do something I'm about to regret. I'm about to say something. I'm about to, feel something that I shouldn't. Maharaj says you shouldn't even think of a parai person, and I'm doing exactly that. We're all on a journey. We felt it. You don't have to raise your hands for that one. Lobh, moh, ahankar. We felt them all, right? Now, have you felt the other? Have you ever felt sat, where you're like, this feels right? Have you ever felt santokh? Have you ever felt forgiveness? Even if it's for a moment, I feel like I've forgiven that person. I feel like I'm letting, you guys know that feeling of letting go? Like when you're like, Maharaj, you take care of it. It doesn't last. Raise your hand if it doesn't last. Like you felt it, like, yeah, I'm letting go, but it doesn't last. It comes back right after. That is a muscle in your body. All of these traits are like training a muscle. As soon as you feel that feeling of, I want everyone to breathe in and just feel that feeling of like, make the noise. And you really feel, all right, Maharaj, I've given everything to you. And that's what we talked about last time. Put your arrows at Maharaj's charan. Maharaj, I've given it. But now what? How do you make sure those arrows stay there? How do you make sure everything that's inside of you stays at the charan of God? As soon as you feel that feeling, do nothing else. Put a timer on your phone for 5 minutes and just, Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru. Now, imagine Maharaj and imagine yourself giving yourself to Maharaj. It's just you. Tu hi, tu hi, tu hi, tu hi. In Shri Dasam Granth Ji, Maharaj writes tu hi 16 times. 16 times, right, Maharaj? But they had really said it 16,000 times. And they said, Bhai Sahib Ji, mere Sikhan kolon 16,000 wari keh nahi hona, tusi 16 wari likh do. Just write it 16 times and I'll count it as 16,000. We read that, we know that, but how do we feel that? Maharaj, tan man ditta. Right? Tan man tan, sab somp gur ko, hukum manye paiye. It's easier said than done, right? How do you train that muscle? Remember I said, in order to get up for Amrit, in order to fall in love, you have to get up. You have to fight. You have to force yourself to do things you hate doing. Run that extra mile. Do that extra push-up. Take that cold shower. Take a cold plunge. All of these things make you into a surma. That's what you need to do. Everything can't be soft. We have to, what does Goggin say? Stay hard, right? You have to have that fighter spirit. And I know like we have different personalities. So then train yourself to do those hard things in different ways. Journal extra, even when you don't want to write. If you're creating a safe space for yourself, sit down inside of that and draw while listening to Kirtan. Write Vaheguru. All of these things are just as hard as some of the Singhs love that. They're like, yeah, let's go get those reps in, right? And some of the Singhs are probably like, yeah, no, I would love to sit down and just write Vaheguru. It doesn't matter. Either way, there's different way of getting after it. So that feeling of getting after it, that feeling of Naam, it's all about, okay, on the outside I'm getting stronger, but on the inside I'm getting more and more narm. You guys all with me so far? You understand that feeling of feeling narm? Like feeling like forgiveness, feeling like, you know what, this person did me dirty, but chaddo. It still pisses you off later, but that's because we haven't trained that, I guess I'll coin this term, that Vaheguru muscle. I want you to think it as the Vaheguru muscle, right? And again, this isn't written in any granth. This is just me, that's why I said I'm not a pracharak, but we're talking about Akal Purakh and we're in a small space, let's just talk about God. In that, when you feel that, sit down and you just go, Maharaj, tu hi, tu hi, tu hi, tu hi, tu hi. It's just you. I'm just at your charan. And when you start doing that, your Vaheguru muscle will tell you, who am I to even forgive? who am I to even feel Sat? Maharaj, it's you. Maharaj, it's you. It's you. You know, and when you get that humility on the inside, that's when everything you're doing on the outside, you don't have to keep acting humble. You don't have to keep saying, I'm humble. Now it's just like, in the back of your mind, you're like, Maharaj, I already know this is all you. Minnu soba deniya de do. Before I used to get really like cringed out if someone was giving me a compliment. Now it's like automatic, like, oh, thanks Maharaj, this is very nice. But everything comes in two. The amount of nindya I get is next level. The amount of people like that give me love is also next level. But ustat nindya Maharaj, it's all yours. That's the muscle I'm trying to train. I ain't there, trust me. I get heartbroken when I get nindya. But that's not where you should be. You see, why can't we talk about that out loud? Why do I, as the speaker in this situation, have to act like I'm already in such kind? And why do you, the listener, when you're interacting with one another, have to flex on how much bani you have kant? Nobody cares. Only Guru Sahib cares. So keep that in your hirda with your Akal Purakh. On the outside, how do you find love on the outside, even when someone is giving you only hate? And on the inside, how do you make yourself stronger and be stricter and identify where you are on your journey and take that next step? How do you do that? Drink the Amrit. How do you drink the Amrit? As soon as you're feeling a bit of that Amrit, sit down. Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru. This is where Maryada, this is where Nityanem comes in. Those of you that are keeping Maryada, first of all, Pranam. Second of all, you are building a bhatta so that when the Amrit rains, when that love rains, when that feeling of I'm letting go comes, you're able to preserve it. If you have no Maryada, if you have no bhatta, it's not going to last. You're going to be debating theology the rest of your life. And you're never going to achieve Akal Purakh. Because you're missing two things. Gur Prasad, which is Sabta Uttam, and giving up. Harna at Maharaj's charan. Harna on the inside, on the outside, always be a lion or a lioness in your own way. But on the outside, give up. Maharaj Tadaya Sara Kuch. You're still going to go to work. You're still going to lead that meeting. You're still going to work hard. But when you do it, you're going to say, Akal Purakh, Tadi Kirpa na hon jujan lag gaye. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like, Maharaj, you do the test. I don't even have to study anymore. No. Maharaj, Tadi Kirpa naal ehe jangya, edich fateh pavange. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa. I am yours. Vaheguru Ji ki fateh. And it will be your fateh. That's the dridta you're meant to have. You see the difference? But what we've done is we've taken that warrior spirit and we've gone, you're not a Sikh, you're not a Sikh, you're not a Sikh, you ain't good enough, you belong in the trash. Everyone is not a Sikh, make me the president of the panth. That's how it goes. Sometimes I see people like going at like non-profit charities. Oh bro, you're not doing enough for the panth. Well, you're doing something good. Can we talk about the good they're doing? And then, if you want to do something good for the panth, wake up and do it. That's the drirta. You see, use the strength to build systems, to build seva yourself. It goes both ways, naam and seva. But use the nimrata to be like, Baba ji, jo tusi karde hain, chardi kala. Do you understand the mindset? Yes, no? At this point, does anyone want to challenge that mindset or say anything? So we can have a conversation around it. I can explain where my way of thinking comes from. Do you guys all generally agree? Everyone say Hanji, Vilari. Hanji! Hanji! Cool. There's the inside, there's the outside. You make the inside strong, you make the outside soft. But then you're also making the inside soft in front of Maharaj. You understand the borders? So you have to follow those borders in order to get closer to Maharaj. You have to build your bhatta. In our taram, how do you build the bhatta to handle Vaheguru mantra? Anyone want to take a guess? Seva, Naam, Bani. Naam, Mool mantra. Mool mantra karo. The more you do Mool mantra, the stronger your dhyan gets. The more you read Gurbani, the more Bani is the map, Naam is the destination, and this Man is the Sarup of the Jot that's on the journey. Everyone understood that? Gurbani is the map. The more you read Gurbani, the more you understand, Acha, Maharaj chaਹੁੰਦੇ ਮੈਂ ਇਦਾਂ ਕਰਾਂ. Right? Naam is the destination. ਜਦੋਂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਮੰਤਰ ਕਰਦੇ, you're already there. You don't have to be like, oh, what do I think about? What do I, kuch ho nahi raha. There's no chamatkar. Heavens aren't parting and the light's not coming down. What do I, Vaheguru is the destination. Naam japo mere sajan sahna. That's the destination. But you, the Man and the Jot, who you really are on that journey, the Atma meeting Paramatma. Does that make sense? That's your life's mission. That's my life's mission. So if you want to be my best friend, talk to me about either Naam or Seva so that I can be inspired. If you want to do Nindya, if you want to do all these other things, just stay out of my life because it's not helping me. That's the mindset that we need, right? Just get up and leave a room where that's happening. But at the same time, Maharaj has taught us how to enter the mud and pull the pot out. If you feel that you've spent enough time building your bata, collecting the Amrit, then say in front of Maharaj, Maharaj, tusi laaj rakhyo. Have that conversation with someone. Be in that space and be able to actually make an action in it. Everyone understand that? I might feel like, where are we going with this? To Naam. All I wanted the talk to be, genuinely, when I was talking to someone about preparing, I was like, "Bas Naam japan di lod hai." And then he was like, "Bro, you should probably tell a Sakhi or something." I was like, "Okay." So I opened Sikhi Bhagat Mala that has Sakhis about Guru Sahibs, right? It's pretty much like an FAQ. Frequently asked questions. Sorry to say it like that, but it's every Guru Paatshai and all the Sikhs that came up to them and asked them questions, right? And so the first one that I opened up to, it's Sikhs coming to Guru Arjan Dev Ji. And they say, Maharaj, I want to connect with you. How do I do it? The moral of the story, Maharaj goes, Naam japo. Right? Then someone comes to Guru Har Gobind Pacha. Maharaj, Naam nahi jap hunda. Maharaj kehde, tade ko ਘੋੜੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ? Do you have horses? ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਘੋੜੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਘੋੜਾ ਬਿਮਾਰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਦਵਾਈ ਦਿੰਨੇ ਹੋ? ਕੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ? ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਦਵਾਈ ਦਿੰਨੇ ਆ. Or Maharaj ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਘੋੜੇ ਨੂੰ ਖਿਲਾਉਨੇ ਆ? Says, we just take the medicine and we stick it in the horse's mouth. And he goes, does the horse just accept it? Does the horse just swallow the dawai? ਨਹੀਂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ, ਮੇਰਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਭਰਾ ਆ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਘੋੜੇ ਦਾ ਮੂੰਹ ਫੜਨਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ. ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹ ਘੋੜੇ ਨੂੰ ਬਾਂਹ ਚ ਲੈ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਫਿਰ ਧੱਕੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਘੋੜੇ ਦੀ ਗਰਦਨ ਠਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਧੱਕਦਾ. Right? And then the Koda has no option but to swallow it. Maharaj ਕਹਿੰਦੇ, exactly. Your body is the Koda, Naam is the medicine. Put it in your mouth. Just force yourself to do it. And last time we talked about it. Naam de naal karm saaf hunde a, Naam de naal raah saaf hunda, Naam de naal sara kuch honda, right? And so in that path, what we have to look at is how do I do that Naam? And when I do that Naam Simran, what shall I feel? And how do I know that I am I'm feeling it, I'm on the right path? Whenever we start to connect to Maharaj, what ends up happening is we become happy. All of our anxieties go away. All of the happiness that we have with Maharaj, that's all that there is. Mahalla Tija. Satgur Sevya Sada Sukh. Janam Maran Dukh Jai. When you do seva of Maharaj, again, right, it's like what we want is instant results. Why do we want that? Because when we jump on TikTok, Instagram, we get immediate dopamine. And we're like, I'm satisfied for the day, right? And then we feel anxious and then we're back and our roller coaster just keeps getting worse and worse. So that's why I'm saying train your Vaiguru muscle, right? Don't go after the compound effect. If you can't get in the gym every day, go once a week. And over a year, your body will change. If you right now, you're not able to read Gurbani, Panjbaniya, Pakke Netnemi, just listen to it. Just make your strides to get there. But remember, keep fighting. Khalsa so jo nit jange. Khalsa is that goes at war every day. Not like fight each other, but fight with your inside every single day. So Chinta mool na hove, achint vase man aaye. You're not anxious at all. You become completely carefree. Just mast reha karo tusi. Bahut tension lenne ho. Right? Just relax. Aaj main nitnem kita, Maharaj da naam japya, achint hovo. Like relax now. Everything is a Maharaj. Nanak chinta mat karo, chinta tisi hai, jal mein jant upayan, tina bhi roji de. Why are you anxious? What are you worried about? Maharaj is the one that should be worried. He's the one that's giving food to even fish in the sea. You think he won't give you roji roti? You think he won't take care of you? You see what I'm saying? And it's so hard to get into that mindset. But that's what Barney teaches. I mean, it's saying it right there. I'm not making it up. Antar tirat gyan hai inside of you. There's a pilgrimage. That shrine, that's where all the wisdom is. Here's where I want to tell you something. What we've all learned growing up out here is first critically think, then you will attain peace. Maharaj says, "Pehla dhyan kar, first focus on your guru, fir main gyan daunga, then I'll give you gyan." It's counterintuitive, right? You genuinely, and I know this, I'll tell you my example. You genuinely will never know what Sikhi is until you do bhakti. Never. Sikhi can only be felt. It cannot be learned. Says it in Gurbani, I'm not making it up. Here's my example. When I was getting into Sikhi, right? I was quite the philosopher. I'd write down a lot of poetry. Maharaj, if everything is you, then take me. And then I just started feeling crazy. I was like, none of this makes sense. I'm falling apart, man. I'm coming untethered. And I called one of my friends who always was just Chardi Kala all the time. And I was like, bro, how do you feel Chardi Kala all the time? He was like, oh, sadhuan di kirpa. I was like, what's a sadhu? What are you talking about? He was like, well, it's people that have done, Gursikhs, that have done Naam, Bani, that are at that level. And when you're in their sangat, you're relaxed. I was like, okay, I want to meet one. He was like, Ardas kar, and you'll meet one. I was like, okay, and then? He's like, no, just do Ardas. I was like, okay. I went in front of Maharaj. I was like, Maharaj, whatever the sadhu is, I want one. I really want to meet one. And help me, because I don't know what to do anymore. I was, studying the theory of perception, how the subconscious and conscious mind works, how everything could be an illusion evolutionarily, how we don't have free will because of our subconscious mind, our unconscious mind, all this nonsense, right? And I was like, "Mainu gyan kyun nahi ho reha?" Because that's not what gyan is. So I go to this sadhu, right? I finally, long story short, Maharaj makes a bidhi. One of my homies goes, hey, I'm going to India. You want to come with me? I'm going to go meet a bunch of Gursikhs. Oh, yeah, I'd love to do that. I did Ardas for that the other week. All right, cool, come with me. We go, start meeting a bunch of Gursikhs. I don't know who's a sadhu. I don't know who's not a sadhu. I genuinely don't care. Why? Because whoever a sadhu is, they'll fix my problem. It's that simple. But I'll just do your seva as if you're a Gursikh. It's my guru's responsibility to make sure if they're a sadhu or not. I'm gonna treat you the way I'd treat any Gursikh. That should be the mindset, right? So I sit in front of this sadhu, and my friend goes, Singinu Dubadaya. He's like, Kadi Dubada? Dubada means a doubt. I go, if everything's an illusion, why do I even have to do Naam? Right? Why do I have to do anything? And I start asking all these lofty questions. And he laughs, and he goes, Tia, tenu lagi ek bata jaldi. You're thirsty for a small glass of water, te peena tu chona ya samundar. And you're trying to consume the entire samundar. Tu to marya jayega. You're gonna get killed. You can't handle it. You can't handle what's out there. And I was like, test me. What do you mean? I can't handle it. That's when I realized, without Mool Mantar, without Bani, without sangat of sadhus, without the sangat of Gursikhs, without doing their seva, I will have nothing. I will be consumed. So then we go to the next Mahapark. They were a Nahang Singh on the side of the road. I was like, what are we doing here? We sit down with them. I haven't taken Amrit. Let me tell you something hilarious. Completely manmukta. So at Harmandir Sahib, there's a seva, and it happens at midnight. And pretty much only Amritari Singhs are allowed to go in. And I told my buddy, I was like, no worries. I'll throw in a bana, I'll throw in a kirpan, and I'll go do seva. I want to see what it is, right? We show up, they didn't let me in. They're like, oh, sorry, like it's already happened. And I, as in the cutoff already happened. The truth is, Guru Sahib was saying, Murkha, te Amrit thodi shakya, tu pekh kar raha hai, right? Go away. And I didn't understand that at that time, and I was like, chal, whatever, you know? And so we did Nishnan in the Sarovar, and this is why it's important for you all to go to Harmandir Sahib. You know, sometimes we go, oh no, that's all like, you know, it's in the man. Nahi yaar, taakat hegi ya. Othe taakat ya. I went into the Sarovar and I immediately just broke down. Maharaj, mainu aapde Sikh kyun nahi banaunde? Why don't you just make me yours? Today, as a lie, I put this kirpan on. Will you please just not let me take it off? I don't want to keep taking it off. Every time I put it on, I make a mistake. Please, I don't know where that benti came from. I just broke down inside of the Sarovar while doing Ishnan. And I just felt like Guru Ram Das Ji was sitting there, just waiting for me to put my head on their lap. It was me running around chasing all these theories. So stop looking for Guru Sahib outside. Guru Sahib kareya. Bani padho, kes rakho, naam japo, sharabba shaddo, kush nahi rakhya ode vich, dard hi rakhya ya, aithe rakha lo mere kolo, sirf dard ya. Name me one household where daru is prachalat and it's kush. Name me one household. None. It's all dard. Why then? Because you get to get lit for a little bit and have fun with your friends? Because you're on your journey and right now it's fun? Fine. Let me tell you this then. Let me not tell you what not to do. Just go enjoy my Guru's Anand and you'll walk away from it yourself. You'll walk away from any mistakes you make yourself. I deal with mistakes. I'm an Amritari. I ain't perfect. I make mistakes, but I just go in front of Guru Sahib and I go, hey, listen, man. Main papan da paryan. That's why I started with eh chadar maili saban thoda jad dekhan tad rova. Minu sacha saban davo, minu darshan davo. And until then, you just keep trying and trying. Remember, guys, you have been here. Man, tu jot swarup hai. Your man has taken on the swarup of the jot since the beginning of time. And you're still not mukt, I'm still not mukt. So how can we expect us to be perfect? You understand the philosophy there? You can't. You have to keep going. You have to keep trying. Maharaj, is janam vich nahi, koi gal nahi, mainu dusre janam ch bacha leo. Apni ta puri koshish hai, aapa ta sir ditta tanu. But you can only say that once you take Amrit. Maharaj, aapa ta tanu sir deta, hon tadi chanta. Why do you think like some Gursikhs have that achint with them? They're not worried. Maharaj, tusi kya naam japo, jinna ki jap hunda japde ha. Baki sade karm hai, baale jap nahi hunda. Hon tusi bachao. You see that nirpata that exists? When you do naam in that way, that's when you have the mindset. Raj na chahu, mukt na chahu. Man, preet charan kamalare. Bas mere man nu tade charna di preet chahidi, ab baki jithe suttana sutto. Narka nu bhejna koi gal nahi, narka nu bhi fateh kar aavange. Once you can say that, you're not worried about if you're going to pass your exam or not. But you can only say that if you build the bata. You can only, the bata of Naam, of Mool Mantar, of Bhakti, in order to accept the Amrit. Everyone with me so far? Yeah, say Hanji out loud if you are. Hanji. Cool. So we leave from there, the Benti happens with Maharaj's Kirpa, and we go to the sadhu, like I was saying, this Gursikh, Nihang Singh, on the side of the road, and he's serving us water, he's taking care. He's just happy that Gursikhs have come. Even though, like, you know, like just a murak. Even then, he was just doing seva. And mid-conversation, he just looks at me, and I'm wearing a full chitta bana karpan, and he just goes, Maharaj, Amrit chako. I just looked at him, I was like, bro, Maharaj da panth da idda da hai, like, wherever you go, there's, I know it's virle ke ke, but when you're on the path of love, Maharaj is just showering you with those virle everywhere. I was like, how did he know that I like haven't, you know, taken Amrit? Then I go to the next place. I'm sitting at the doctor's office, and because I have some stomach issues, and I'm sitting there, and the doctor is, this Hindu gentleman, and he goes, the reason that you have these stomach problems is stress. I was like, I'm not really stressed about anything. He was like, nah, you're only 23. You should get a girlfriend, chill out, get a car, go party, relax. What is all this? He's pointing at my kirpan. Again, I hadn't taken Amrit. I was just wearing a kirpan. I don't know why I was just wearing a kirpan, but I was. Like I said, I wouldn't say follow that model, right? Don't kill me. But I didn't want to take it off. But at the same time, I didn't want to take Amrit. I was like one step in, one step out. And he goes, Teri umar hai, like it's your age to just go out and party, chill, relax. With you stressing about like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to wake up, it's too stressful. Let go. Just take your time. I'll give you some people that you should listen to. They're enlightened beings. They'll help you out. And I'll tell you right now, I'm the type of guy, like, I ain't defensive straight away, right? Like, if you blame me for something, I'm gonna sit there and be like, yeah, you're probably right. I'm so easy to gaslight. So easy to gaslight. I was sitting there like, maybe he's right? As soon as I said that, my chacha ji gets a phone call from a sadhu I've never met before, a Gursikh I've never met before, right? But they know I'm gonna come meet them because my chacha ji had arranged a meeting. And he goes, Harsimranjit nu phone fadayo. Well, dang, how does he know my name? Pick up the phone. Hanji, Vaheguru ji ka khalsa hoye fateh, Vaheguru khalsa hoye fateh. Harsimranjit Singh ji, kithe reh gaye? Asi ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਰਾਹ ਢੀਕਦੇ ਆਂ ਆਜੋ. I was like, before I continue the story, I'd asked my buddy who told me that sadhus are next level, and I go, any rules? He goes, just one rule. Whatever they say Sat Bachan. I was like, okay. Like I said, very easy to gaslight. And so I say on the phone, I go, Sat Bachan, kende jithe baithe hain hune uth ke aajo. Sat Bachan, give the phone back, look at the doctor, I'll be back in a couple of days, I gotta go. I said, Sat Bachan. I got up, walked away, get in the car, we start driving. As we're driving, get another phone call. Aaj main bahut busy haan, aaj na aayo. I was like, what? All right, hang up. Go meet another sadhu. Again, I'm on like a yatra of just meeting sadhus. I'm like, anybody that calls himself a Gursikh, I want to meet you, I want to know what you're about. There I go. Singh next to me, bo pange paunda si. He says to the sadhu, Singh nu dubda Amrit bare, as in he has doubts about Amrit. I was like, I don't have doubts. I think Amrit's a great thing. It's just not for me, right? He goes, Kyo? Amrit bare tenu ki dubda? And I looked at the sadhu and I was like, Nahi, Babaji. And I was thinking in my mind, I like going to the gym with a beanie. Like tying a dastar is kind of a hassle. Like I like going out with my friends. I, like sometimes like just want to chill. Like I don't want to wake up at Amrit Vela. I'm not really ready for all that. I've never read the Baniya. I'm thinking all this. So I was like, main kiddan kama? Kede muh na hai sara kuch kama? Right? Like how am I supposed to say, oh, the reason I'm not going for mukti is because I like wearing a beanie. Right? So I say to him, Babaji Amrit Sahib nahi hona mere to. And he looks at me and just laughs. Oh Kamleya, tain thodi Amrit sambhna. Amrit ne tenu sambhna. I was like, what? Kehne tain ta sirf sir de dena guru nu. Te bhai guru di zimmewari a oh sambhe tenu. You just give your head to the guru, they take care of it. I was like, is that simple? 2 easy payments of $9.99, that's it? Like, aida hi mil jande hai Maharaj. Kehinde bas sir de do. Kehinde a jehda tu kehna na tera ਢਿੱਡ ਦੁਖਦਾ, ਤੇਰਾ ਸਿਹਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਹੀ ਰਹਿੰਦੀ, ਨਾਮ ਜਪ ਠੀਕ ਹੋ ਜੂ, ਐਵੇਂ ਟੈਨਸ਼ਨ ਲਈ ਫਿਰਦਾ. I was like, oh, really? Later I started reading Gurbani and realized, Karishanan Simar Prabha Pranam Manatan Pe Aroga. Maharaj is saying it in their Bani, Partak. I believe him. And genuinely, like, dude, I couldn't get out of bed for 3-4 days and I'm sitting in front of you fine. We're sleeping 2-3 hours. If I ever slept 2-3 hours in the past, I couldn't get out of bed. It was bad. And now I'm running around doing my thing. You know what I mean? Like, life has changed. Why? Because Guru Sahib was like, Chal, ta sir deta, hon tu mera. You see what I'm saying? And again, like I'm telling you, like I'm not a pracharak, so I can't give you a bunch of sakhiyan, but I'm a Sikh just like you on this journey. And I'm telling you, yo, I'm a mess up, I'm a murak, I'm falling apart. I'm trying. I've identified my next notch personally, and I'm trying for it. And I think you should do the same. And I'm telling you, born out here, we can't understand the type of expectations they had in India. When you're in Punjab, oh man, 4 ਵਜੇ ਸਵੇਰ ਨੂੰ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਵੇਲੇ ਸਪੀਕਰ ਵੱਜਣ ਲੱਗ ਪੈਂਦੇ ਆ ਜਪਜੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮਹਾਨਾਮ ਆ. You can't miss ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਵੇਲਾ if you tried. Here, bro, we get to go to sleep at 2 a.m. because our meetings, our homework, it's a different world. So there's a lot of noise going on the outside. Now we got to solve it from the inside. And this is that solving it from the inside that we're talking about. You guys with me? So I go and I immediately just start thinking, oh my God, all I have to do is take Amrit? And so then I go home, I call my parents and I'm like, I want to take Amrit. They're like, what? I was like, yeah, I didn't want to take Amrit when I went. Actually, before I left on the trip, a couple of my buddies sat me down. They're like, listen, man, we know you're going to go meet Sadhus and stuff, but don't make the mistake of taking Amrit, bro. Like, you're young, man. Like, you want to go out, you want to like chill, bro. Like, you know, vyah nahi tera hona. Nobody wants to get married to an Amritari, right? And I was like, yeah, don't worry, bro. I'm just going for interviews. Like, for me, this is more like a research thing. So I called my parents. I'm like, I'm done. I don't want anything in life. I just want to take Amrit. My dad was like, all right, if that's how you feel, go for it. And I was like, thank you. At night, by the time it became nighttime, like 50 of my relatives had called me and said, Amrit na shaki ye na galti kar li. Bo panga more. And I was trying to be like, oh man, damn, Sachi na? Sachi like it's that hard. Job nahi milni. Like, it's gonna be that hard. And I was like, what are you doing? He said, give your head to God and everything will work out. I said, Sat Bachan. It's real. That's what they said. That's how it works. If that's how it works, then that's how it works. So I called my mom. I don't want to take Amrit. She's like, what happened? I was like, I don't know. I want to, but I don't want to. I don't know what's going on. And she was like, just call the sadhus that informed you. I said, okay. Called them. I'm going to check. Main darda, I'm going to check karta hu. Laugh. Tu darda? To Amrit shak fe aake mainu mil. And this is the sadhu that I haven't met yet. The one that said, get up at the doctor's. I just called him because I was like, that's the only phone number I have. And that's the only other person I know to be a sadhu. I don't know if they are or not. I'm just trying this thing out. People told me this is how it works. Either all of Sikhi is fake or all of it's real. And if it's real, then we're going to full send this. Right? So I'm sitting there and I'm saying to them, Minu dar lagda. He's like, Amrit yaar kedi darne wadi gall hai. Tu Amrit shak fe aake minu mili. Oh man, my buddy told me Sat Bachan. I got to say Sat Bachan to this. Sat Bachan ji. ठीक है मैं सिंगा नु कह दूंगा तेनू ककार फड़ा देन ते आगे शक ली Sat Bachan. Hang up. All right, I guess we're going tomorrow. I get there, the Singhs give me kakars. I'm sitting there and I have no idea what I'm doing. I go into the Amrit Chart and the Panch they say, if you have even a slightest of doubt, get up and leave. I go, oh yeah, I got a heck of doubts. And so I put my weight on my arms and I started getting up. And as I was getting up, I looked over and I saw Guru Granth Sahib Ji. And I felt so much sharm. And the thought that came into my mind, if not now, never. And I wasn't willing to take never. I was like, if I get never, I can't even, marnu bhi nahi tha milna. If I choose never, mar ke bhi narka chi rolna. मैं तो फंस गया जहाँ ते हुण ਇਹ ਖਾਲਸੇ ਦੀ ਮਰਿਆਦਾ ਤੇ ਤੁਰਨਾ ਪੈਣਾ which is too tough ਤੇ ਜਾਂ ਨਰਕਾਂ ਚ ਰੁਲੂੰਗਾ. I was sitting there like, man, this doesn't feel like the path of love. And I looked back over at Guru Granth Sahib Ji and I was like, no. Like a good father, he's just protecting me. Like a good father, he's telling me, ਪੁੱਤ ਇਸ ਘਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਰਿਹਾ ਆ ਬਾਹਰ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਔਖਾ ਆ. It's like if your parents gave you the maryada. Don't go out at midnight. Someone will come and jack you. Someone will come and beat you up and take your stuff. And you go, no, I want to go explore and break that maryada, right? It's like, it's not that your parents are being strict. They're just telling you, these are the rules of the world and it's hard out there. The Guru is telling you, Pota, Amrit Shakla, Naam Japla, Bani Padla, Guru de naal lag, je nya karunga, te jamduta de dande pehne a. Guru Sahib isn't punishing you. He's just telling you the rules. He's just telling you ਬਾਹਰ ਚੋਰ ਫਿਰਦੇ ਆ ਜਮਦੂਤ ਨੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਕੁੱਟਣਾ ਜੇ ਤੂੰ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨਾਲ ਨਾ ਲੱਗਾ. Then I realized Guru Sahib menu dra thodi raha. Guru Sahib to menu prem de raha. So then I sat back down. Then the Panj started telling the Maryada. I had no idea what they were saying. I was like, what? I could barely understand Punjabi then, right? Had never read the Panj Baniya. And I was just kind of listening like, all right, I'll just try to take like what I can from this. By the end of it, you know, Amrit Shaklinaya, I go, I sit with the Mahapurkh, right? So I've taken Amrit at this point. I'm sitting in front of the Mahapurkh and they're having a conversation with someone and I'm just kind of sitting there and in my mind, I'm like, man, how do I bring up depression? I don't know how to say depression in Punjabi, right? I used to talk like jidda, kidda, hana, like just trying to figure out all my words. And now Maharaj's Kirpa, like listening to Katha and stuff, like Punjabi is clean. Wouldn't even be able to tell that it was hard for me. He just randomly looks at me and goes, Harsimranjit Singh, America di dharti de depression bolte hai. I was like, whoa, how did you do that? How did he know? And he goes, O dharti, othe bhagat inne nahi hoye. Ye Guru Piran di dharti hai. I was like, yeah, Baba ji, ithe dhyan sokha lagda. That's why, don't blame yourself. It's hard out here. It's hard to get sangat. It's hard to jap naam. It's hard to do anything, right? And then they kind of like, you know, told me Naam jaruri hai, bhakti karni jaruri hai, all that kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, like this must be the answer to depression. 2, 3 other things like that happened. Then I was like, oh, how did he know about the doctor? And he just said it, word for word, what the doctor was thinking. Or what the doctor was saying. He just said, Lokka ne kehna, tu 23 saalan da, tu ja, girlfriend rakh, gaddiyan ch ghum fer, tu partiyan te, like literally bullet point for bullet point what the doctor was saying. And I was like, whoa, maybe there is something on this path. Like when these Gursikhs, right, call them up, call them Sadhus, call them Gursikhs, man. These Gursikhs are on a level where they're beyond the illusion. We were talking about breaking the illusion, beyond the illusion. You know? And they literally know what's going on. And he goes, you're not. Tu Guru Gobind Singh Ji da Sikhya hun. Your life is what Guru wants it to be. I'm like, okay, sounds good. I'm down to, you know, journey on this. The reason I'm sharing all this with you is I get it. I've been there and I'm still there. Taking Amrit deletes your karma, but it doesn't break your habits. Right? So it took me a long time. I mean, with Maharaj's Kirpa, I always listened to Bani, even if I wasn't like focused on it, even if it was while I was doing something else. But over time, I realized, well, this isn't gonna cut it. We gotta make steps. And that's why I said, I'm not a pracharak, I'm just speaking like Sikh to Sikh, brother to brother, brother to sister. This is what I did. If it works for you, great. If not, do an Ardas. Maharaj, bring me in front of a real Gursikh. Right? Bring me in someone that's really gotten to that point. Do that Ardas. Show me a sadhu, show me a Mahapurkh. I want to meet them. Right? And then you might think why is he talking about sadhus and why is he, what's this all about? And I was reading through Bani and I started realizing Maharaj defines what a sadhu is. Maharaj even says in Sukhmani Sahib, how should you treat someone? Charan sadke toy toy piyo. You should wash their feet. We're talking about, don't touch their feet. Wash their feet and drink that water. That's how much respect you should give. Ard sadko apna jiyo. Dedicate your soul to all those that are holy. Sadgi tuhur karo isnan. You should be bathing in the dust of them. And this could be metaphorical, this could be physical. I'm like I said, I'm not at that level, but it's just, Mema sadhu sang ki suno mere meet, mail khoi kot aghare, nirmal pe cheat. When you're around that sad sangat, now, there's some people that believe in sadhus, there's some that don't, they call them Gursikhs. It doesn't matter, that's what I'm trying to get to, it doesn't matter. Call them sadhus, call them Mahapurkhs, call them Gursikhs, call them whatever you want to call them. Gursikhs that are doing the Naam and seva of Maharaj and have defeated their Panjvakar and are at that level. When we get in their sangat, our filth is washed away, millions of sins go away, and our consciousness becomes pure. Then there's the Rahatnama by Bhai Harsimranjit Ji. Karmo Sadh Singh Jo Ai. Whenever saintly Singhs come to our house, Gursikhs come to our house, Tin ki bahobid sev karai. There are many ways you should do their seva. What are the ways? Charan toye prasad jivave. Before they even walk into your house, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਚਰਨ ਧੋਵੋ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਚਰਨ ਆਪਦੇ ਹੱਥਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਧੋਵੋ, and then offer them food. ਹਰ ਕੇ ਭਾਵ ਸਭਨ ਮੋ ਲਿਆਵੇ. Treat and serve every person with that love. We're talking about Gursikh ਕਿਸੇ ਦੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਨਿਮਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ, ਹਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਰਾਜ ਦੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਦਾ ਸਿਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਨੀਵਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ, ਕਿਸੇ like we don't just ਕਿਸੇ ਆਮ ਪੁਰਸ਼ ਦੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ, no. ਪਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਆ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਸ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਦੇ ਸਰੀਰ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਨਿਮ ਰਹੇ. I've seen Gursikhs that both go and touch the floor, that both go and hug each other, that both go and give each other love. Why? It's not to, Harsimranjit or Jujhar Singh. No, it's the Naam and Bani inside of you, the Sarup of Guru Gobind Singh Ji. This Dadi is Guru Gobind Singh Ji, this Dastar is Guru Gobind Singh Ji. This is what I've been trying to talk about the whole time. It's just mindset. I remember I met these Singhs at the airport, and they just talked to me about Maharaj the whole time. And, at the end, I went and I touched their feet, and they're like, Yaar, inna chair sanu ho gaya tenu das deya, ta fir oh galti karti. And I was like, what? And I was like new into Sikhi. They were like, iddan thodi sekh thodi kisi de charna nu. And I don't know, maybe that's rule, maybe it's not, I don't know. But what I do know is this, I wasn't touching their charan. ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਚਰਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਹੱਥ ਲਾ ਰਿਹਾ, ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਬੈਠੇ ਨਾਮ ਨੂੰ ਨਮਸਕਾਰ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ, ਕਰਕੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਪੜ੍ਹੀ ਦੀ ਆ ਉਹੀ ਸਿੱਖਣ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਦਾ. But I could be wrong, forgive me. That's what I'm saying. I ain't here to argue. If that's your MO, that you don't, then cool, man. You're a warrior. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm not here to debate anyone. I'm just saying, for me, this is what worked. This is what's working. And if I'm wrong, let's have that conversation. But if not, like, this is what Bhai Harsimranjit Singh says, this is what Sukhmani Sahib says, this is what Gurbani says, Baki panth jane. Why am I saying it in so much nimrata? Because nowadays, how we listen to any type of gyan di gal ja Sikhi di gal is say the wrong thing so I can get mad at you. Just say it. Say one wrong thing so I can disregard the other hour and 15 minutes that you've been speaking. So I can say you're a trash person. Just do it. Bet. That's it. But it's not, ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਜੇ ਇੱਕ ਦੋ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਗਲਤ ਵੀ ਕਰਤੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਬਾਕੀ ਦਾ ਜੋ ਕਹਿ ਰਿਹਾ ਆ ਉਹੀ ਮੈਂ ਲੈ ਲਵਾਂ, ਮੇਰਾ ਜੀਵਨ ਵੱਧ ਜੂ. It's about increasing your jivan. And look, I don't care what the wider community is doing. If you all, where you are, start doing that, I'm telling you, your hirda will start to blossom like a flower, and the scent you let out will feel like the Guru. It will feel like Maharaj. Because you're experiencing Maharaj and you're sharing the experience of Maharaj. You're taking in that Amrit that we were talking about. That's what it comes down to, right? How do we experience that Amrit? How do we experience that Naam? So, in all of that was, like a mouthful. I'm hoping that you can find your journey. But what's most important, you can't get away from it. You have to do seva. You have to do seva. You know how heartbreaking it is? ਜਿਹੜੇ ਤਾਂ ਸਿੱਖ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਤੋਂ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਆ, ਭਾਵਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੇਸ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਜਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਰੱਖੇ, ਉਹ ਇੰਨੇ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਭਾਂਡੇ ਮਾਂਜਦੇ ਆ, ਨਿਸ਼ਾਨ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ. ਪਰ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਦੇ ਜੰਮੇ ਪਲੇ ਆ ਨਾ, ਆਪਣੇ ਚੋਂ ਵਿਰਲਾ ਹੀ ਆ ਕੋਈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਭਾਂਡੇ ਧੋਂਦਾ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਦੇ ਚਰਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਫ਼ ਕਰਦਾ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਨਿਸ਼ਾਨ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਦਾ. Bro, it's nobody. We've lost what builds us. ਮੇਰੀ ਨਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਚਰਨਾਂ ਤੇ like ਬੇਨਤੀ ਆ, don't lose that. ਲੰਗਰ ਹਾਲਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਟੇਬਲਾਂ ਤੇ ਚੇਅਰਾਂ ਰੱਖਤੀਆਂ. Maharaj in their hukamnama, in their rehatname parthak say the way, the how to do langar. They say wash the floors, make sure it's clean, and we wear shoes in the langar hall. I went to a gurdwara and they had langar, they had tables and chairs, and then they had a mat to sit on the floor. And I was like, well, I'm here, I might as well sit down and have langar. And someone came up to me with shoes, And they were like, badi sharm aunਦੀ ਹੈ ਜੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ, ਅਸੀਂ shoe ਪਾਏ ਆ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬੈਠੇ ਆ ਜੀ, ਵਾਹਿ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿ ਫਤਿਹ. And then went and sat down on the table and chair with the shoes on. I was like, no, you don't. You don't have sharm. And I wasn't blaming him. I was just saying like, man, that sucks. Apa gusse naal nahi eh cheez da hal karna. They're trapped there. It sucks. He feels it. But even then, karma hukam aa rahe hai. Man, I feel bad. I was just like, chalo Maharaj, bachayo sanu. Pata nahi kiddhar nu apa tar pe hain. See what I'm saying? Because we're like, oh, we're modern. Apa table chairan de beh ke koi gal nahi. You know, Singh kadon gareeb hunde si, hun ameer hain. You know, it doesn't make sense. Oh, this is not a langar hall. This is just a community kitchen. Call it what you want, bro. Guru Granth Sahib Ji is in the next room. This is a langar hall. Te langar banda pangat de vich. Jithe nimrata naal thalle behna penda. You see what I'm saying? It all starts with love. All of these issues on the outside can only be solved with the issues on the inside. Nahi ta tusi ladde reh jaoge. Tusi dande hi chukkoge. Prem de naal koi hal nahi. And you can only give prem if you have prem. So meri benti aa var je seva karni, prem na karo. Naam japna, prem na karo. How do you bring that prem on? Channel different parts of your life where you felt that prem while following a maryada. You have to walk away with something you're gonna do. I hate to be a broken record with that. And then find a way to solve that problem within your own life. Okay? So here's what I want you to do. I want to do a mental exercise into Naam Simran. Here's the exercise I want to do. This is an exercise, dekho, Naam japan de kei nokte hai. And again, I'm a researcher. I love going and asking. But the truth is only one. Prem. Prem naal japo jado japna. Right? Pama saas simro, pama tu neech dhyan de ko simro, pama whatever technique you use. So I'm not going to go over the techniques. That's for you, your journey, wherever you end up, whatever you learn, whatever jathebandi you learn with. Pranam. Pranam, pranam, pranam. Learn it. I remember I asked a sadhu Naam japan da tarika. He said, Bas Vaheguru Vaheguru kar, kyun teri jeeb dokhdi hai Vaheguru kar de? And I was like, you're right. Yeah, thank you. So the tarika is any, it's just convincing your Naam to say Vaheguru. But I want you to understand the feel, like a feeling. This is not, I can't tell you what samadhi is, I'm not there. I can't tell you the Sachkhand, I'm not there. But that feeling that you feel when you feel love for someone else. When you feel santokh, when you feel like I'm content. Jo bhi Maharaj karne ge theek hai. When you feel forgiveness. When you feel main sacha hai. Whatever is happening is true. When you feel humility. When you feel compassion. As I'm saying those words, are you guys feeling how that normally feels? Right? I want you to take like, yeah, I'm tired, and just shake it off. Focus your mind back on, I just want to let go. Remember that deep breath? Taking a deep breath. Deep breath out. Why do these things matter? This body's a horse. We have to tame it. We have to comb it. We have to make it do what we want. So in that way, close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Deep breath in, deep breath out. In, out. I want you to imagine standing in front of Guru Gobind Singh Ji, Guru Granth Sahib Ji, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Guru Ramdas Ji. I want you to imagine doing the benti. Maharaj, I'm yours, just keep me. This is who I am. Now you take me where you want. Imagine your Guru's charan. Imagine that prem. And in order to feel it, feel as if everyone that is sitting in that darbar doing the same benti to Akal Purkh, the kapde they're wearing are of prem. The floors are made of contentness. You touch them and you just feel, this is it. Ehi Sachkhand hai. The jyot that's in front of you is just a light. When you look at it, you feel happy. You know you're safe here. You know there's no anxiety. The walls have the prakash of the matha of a Gursikh. You know the walls are enlightened. The ceiling of this place, this darbar you're sitting in, it's just patal, it's just stars. And in this beautiful, safe parlok, you're doing a benti in front of Akal Purkh, where all you're feeling is love. Minu rakh lo, And the entire sangat, they realize the only way to really say that you love Maharaj is to say Vaheguru. And so the sangat starts to do jap. I say Vaheguru, then you all say it out loud, not holy, but with all of your dhyan. Vaheguru. Tell your love. Vaheguru. Vaheguru. Akashan ch awaaz jaave. Vaheguru. 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 ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ अब की बार बख्श बंदे को बहुर ना पाओ जल फेरा. Maharaj, just forgive me this time. Can't keep doing this. That's just the benti. Tarliyan di khed. Let's say a fateh and then we'll do a jakara to wake up from the Naam Simran. Vaheguru ji ka khalsa, Vaheguru ji ki fateh. Khushiyan de ghar jaave, nyalo jaave, fateh paave. Sri Harmandir ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ.
If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Please donate and help spread Guruji's message. Link is in the description below. Vaheguru ji ka khalsa, Vaheguru ji ki fateh.